So for the last couple of years, I've been really out of it mentally for this, you know, the whole superhero genre. But throughout most of 2019 and some of 2018, I was playing catch up on all these movies. And I gotta be real, I was just loving every minute of it. And in 2019, I obviously saw Captain Marvel and Endgame and SpiderMan Far From Home. And I'm kind of over it. Now, I don't hate superhero movies. I don't think I'll ever really be able to hate superhero movies. But I do think it's really cool how mainstream and hot superhero movies have become within the last 10 years. Really, over the last year, I've kind of grown tired of them. I'm still going to review them, obviously, this year. And, you know, years to come as long as I continue to do this channel. But, I mean, that's really all I'm doing. But let's go ahead and just jump right into the video. Why I've gotten tired of one of my favorite mediums.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me.
Now, I'm sure everybody's heard of the Marvel formula. If you don't know what the Marvel formula is, it's basically just having an everyman character. The character that is funny, quirky, cool, funny. They're the protagonists of the story. You know, they're having to get over some obstacle to, you know, defeat the bad guy in the movie, and it's just been repeated so many times. It's boring to me. There have been multiple opportunities in the MCU for them to change this formula and to do something really weird and crazy. Something that, you know, wouldn't just make it one of these generic comic book movies. I guess an example of this would be Captain America. Instead of, you know, him coming back 70 years later and him now becoming the soldier for the US government, you know, he like struggles with trying to find his like placement in the world. Not making this an action spy movie, but I mean making this a completely different movie. I think there are different times and places that they could have done changes and they just didn't want to. Now, the only Marvel movie that has ever made me feel some sort of emotion that wasn't fucking kick that guy, fucking radical, dude, was Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And it was this scene right here. Because Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is pretty fucking depressing. It's probably the most depressing Marvel movie that is out. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 does have this big, bad, like, ending fight between Ego and Quill. But, I mean, it kind of works in this scenario. And then the ending to it is just Peter's, like, real-life father figure dying. And I actually like that a lot. Well, they can do this Marvel formula, but they can like twist it and do different things with it to, you know, make it so it's still Marvel, it's still our thing, taking different twists and turns to it to make it more, you know, entertaining. And as for the too many movies portion, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Last year, Marvel came out with 3 movies. And now in 2020, it's 2 MCU movies, The New Mutants, Morpheus, and fucking Venom 2. Now, personally, I'm not excited for any comic book movies this year. I mean, Morpheus kind of has me interested, but I mean, at the same time, I kind of don't care. I'm obviously going to review them all because, you know, it's kind of what I have to do now for this channel that I've taken upon myself, and you know, it gives me a reason to go out and see these movies. But too many of these Marvel movies are just kind of overwhelming. You guys remember a couple years back when, like, Rogue One and Solo and, like, The Last Jedi all came out, like, really close to each other? It's kind of like that. You can't give us too much of one medium because we're gonna get overloaded. But for whatever reason, it fucking works for Marvel, and I don't understand it. I think we need to take a break. It's definitely not me, it's definitely you. Now that we've gotten these, you know, general problems that that almost everybody can really agree with, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about some more of my personal problems that I have with the MCU. Or shall I say, let's just movie into the next section. Alright, well, yeah, whatever. Just go to the next one.
I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
Now this is kind of a weird one. Now, I really liked Infinity War. I think I saw Infinity War in theaters like 3 times. That movie is so good. But the thing I love about Infinity War is what I don't like about Endgame. There's too many fucking people. Take Infinity War, where Thanos and his minions took down the Avengers and some people, group by group, because they were all sectioned off between literal different sides of the universe. And Thanos took them apart piece by piece, stone by stone, and hurt them at their lowest points. That shit is really interesting. And with Endgame, there's like 1,500 of these motherfuckers going into battle. Like, with as many characters and superheroes there are in the MCU and new characters that are going to keep coming down the pipeline, new problems that, you know, kind of emerge out of this are going to seem kind of like not really important. And I don't want to see another 10-year in the making battle with like Doctor Doom or Galactic or whoever the fuck is next. I think Doctor Doom in the MCU would actually be kind of cool, but I'm not interested in investing another 10 years just for another fight like this to go down. Like, how do you actually get bigger and better than this? You can't. You literally cannot. And what the fuck is T'Challa doing back here? So personally, that's why I think we should focus on fleshing out these more characters in their own solo movies. And you know, just like in comic books, they can make cameos and they can appear in each other's movies. Make new stories and make different stories. Make cool and interesting stories and give your fucking directors 100% creativity. You hired them for a reason. But it's never gonna happen because the Marvel Studios has a reputation to keep. And I personally don't like how it's going. I think if they gave their directors their creative fields to do what they want, like they kind of did with the Russo brothers, then I feel like these Marvel movies could be so much better. I've seen a couple like articles of people saying, oh, who should direct these new movies that have just lost their directors. And I saw this thumbnail with Jordan Peele next to Doctor Strange, and that shit would be fucking insane if they gave Jordan Peele 100% directive creativity, but they aren't gonna do that. I just don't know how I feel about the direction that Marvel's going right now.
I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
My opinion on this movie has extremely changed. Now, watching Endgame's ending for like the first time, it's fine, I guess, until you really sit and think about it, because I hate Captain America's ending, I hate Black Widow's ending, and I'm okay with Tony Stark's death. That's fine. And I know I basically made this video praising Endgame for what it was, and I'm a fucking idiot. And I think my other problem is that I've seen this movie like too many times. I think this movie definitely does not work on multiple rewatches. But I'll go more in depth later this year when I make my full in-depth video. I just kind of wanted to bring it up to, you know, kind of trigger some people.
Was looking kind of dumb with her finger and her thumb.
So this one's kind of really personal, because the more and more I think of it, Spider-Man Far From Home is also really lame. Now, as much as that I like this version of Spider-Man in the MCU, and I think it's really well done, and I think it works in this universe, I gotta also talk about how they're ruining my sweet baby boy. Now, I briefly talked about this in my end of the year video, but Marvel and Sony going back and forth on this character is super fucking annoying. On Marvel's side, they want full control. They want to create him in this big world that they already have, and they want to use all of Spider-Man's characters, which to the normal people would think, yeah, Sony should let them do that. What the fuck? What's wrong? But on Sony's side, and them trying to create this Spider-Verse, Sony has to work around Marvel's vision, and Sony owns the rights to all of these characters. Sony rightfully bought this from Marvel. With this Sony Spider-Verse that they're creating with movies like Morpheus and Venom and such, it just gets really tricky and hard to write for those movies when you have to look at both versions that both of these companies are trying to make. Sony and Marvel, this sort of dispute that they have, are going to ruin Spider-Man again. On one hand, Marvel knows how to write Spider-Man in a way that just kind of works for a lot of people. And then on the other hand, Sony doesn't know how to fucking use Spider-Man at all. For whatever reason, Sony just gets brain dead and they don't know how to create anything when it comes to Spider-Man. This is really weird and nitpicky that I'm bringing this up, but it's one of the reasons that kind of the MCU annoys me. Is it was a follow-up to Endgame, and like I said in my review, I don't like that. I really wish that it wasn't like this. I just really like Spider-Man, and I don't like to see what they're doing with him. I'm really glad that we have Into the Spider-Verse, because I really don't know what I would do right now without a good medium for Spider-Man.
The years start coming and they don't stop coming. Fed to the rules and I hit the ground running.
Now for the rest of this video, for it being my third and final act, I'm going to make the video quality really bad, and I'm going to ramble on, and I'm going to make this third act really not make a whole lot of sense. Why am I doing this? Oh, I don't know. Because falling under the Marvel formula is Marvel's shitty third acts. Now, this isn't just something that has recently started in Marvel movies. It's something that's really apparent in recent Marvel movies, but it's actually been here from the start. Iron Man 1 is really good. It's still really good to this day. Like, I fucking love that movie. But the third act of it is really really stupid. Now you might be wondering, what are you talking about, David? You don't know shit about anything. Evil robot Jeff Bridges is what I'm talking about. And evil robot Jeff Bridges style characters is kind of apparent for the rest of the Marvel movie. Jeff Bridges' character in this movie wants to take over Tony's company, but then he tries to like kill him and kill this like family in a car. It's like, you're not going to get elected to be president by doing this shit, you fucking weirdo. But this definitely wasn't the last movie to have a sloppy third act. To name a few, we have Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, Incredible Hulk, Captain America Civil War, Thor Ragnarok, and Black Panther. And probably the first 2 Thor movies. I try to suppress those movies as much as I can because I really don't like those movies. But here's just a couple examples. Iron Man 1 and 2 have basically the same issues. Big robot trying to kill Tony because... I don't know. Incredible Hulk. That movie is just butt for whatever reason. Tim Roth doesn't like Bruce Banner because he's this big radioactive monster and he wants to kill him. But then he becomes Bruce Banner and this radioactive monster. And also the CGI in the third act is fucking horrendous. I can't even tell what's happening. Captain America Civil War is just kind of a big mess anyways. But having the 3 plot lines go on in this movie, the issue with Bucky and Tony's parents are, you know, whatever. The super soldiers that just are just a plot thrown right out of the screen because they die without having any actual emotional impact. And the Accords that are supposed to be in effect, you know, to stop superheroes from, I guess, destroying everything. But nobody actually cares about them. Oh, and Zemo's in this movie. Thor Ragnarok is pretty good, but Hela in this movie is stupid. She doesn't actually need to be in this movie. I'm not calling Hela as a character really bad. I actually kind of like her as a character, but she doesn't need to be in this movie. She's only in here so she can die and Asgard can be taken off world so that Thanos can kill them in their ship. See what I was talking about before? And if Hela wasn't in this movie, it would really just be about Thor babysitting Hulk and Loki. And I actually would have really enjoyed that. That would have been kind of funny to watch. Again, see what I was talking about before? Now, Black Panther. Black Panther is an alright movie. It's fine. I don't have a lot to say about it. But the third act is horrible.
Sorry, guys. We're gonna have to cut the scene a little short here. We have a white male talking about Black Panther. It's a no-no. Cannot have that. Tear it down, boys. Movie's been out a couple of years and these whiteys getting a little uppity.
So yeah, MCU's been kind of a disappointment recently. And with Doctor Strange's new movie not going to be a horror film like everybody kind of thought it was going to be, and it's losing its director from the first one because Disney hates creativity. And the new Hawkeye TV show that was supposed to come out, and that was kind of the only TV show that I was extremely excited for because I like Hawkeye as a character, has been delayed indefinitely. And I just don't know what's going on with Marvel. I don't know if it's me getting older and my taste for cinema just isn't comic book movies anymore, but I'm just kind of over it. I really do hope a movie this year comes out and surprises me and I really enjoy it, but I don't really see that happening. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share with a Marvel shill so they can get upset.